Green list. Yeah, we've got Aziz. Thanks for waiting.
Hi, hello.
Hey.
Are you there?
How are you?
What do you got?
I am in the Mecca University. I think that there is no extremists that have gone to Mecca University, because in Mecca University, the first thing they teach us is to search for errors in the Quran, and if we find one, we try to reason.
Wait, you said that the first thing they teach you is to look for errors in the Quran, and if you find one, but so nobody's ever found one. Because I have seen many atheists and many Christians reading the Quran, and they just interrupt it with their own mind, and they just put aside the teaching of the Prophet. They put aside every explanation that the Prophet have put forward, and they just said, "Oh, this is Islam." But if they read, that's not what I'm at. So, are there errors in the Quran?
No.
Then, if a particular verse can be interpreted 7 different ways, what good is it? It's an error just from that perspective.
But when you read that verse alone and you don't see what the author said about that verse, you are just interrupted with your own mind.
First of all, I have no indication of some extra context from the author. But even if there was, for example, if you go to Surah 489.
Okay.
This doesn't say anything about, hey, there are people who are killing Muslims, kill them. What it says is they wish that you should disbelieve, that there are people who are trying to sway Muslims away from religion. They wish that you should disbelieve as they disbelieve, and then you would be equal. Therefore, take note to yourselves, friends, so don't be friends with them until they immigrate in the way of God. Then, if they turn their backs, take them and slay them wherever you find them. Take not to yourself any one of them as a friend or helper. So this verse, absent any other context, says, hey, there are people who are trying to sway you away from Islam. Don't be friends with them. And if they convert to Islam and then move away, you are to kill them. It doesn't say anything at all about this is self-defense. This is about belief. And if they believed and they stopped believing, you are to take them and slay them.
Okay, and that's and that's your interpretation when you.
I'm reading it.
Is that right?
Granted, I'm reading it in English.
Please, that is your interpretation when you read that verse. Is that right?
What's wrong with my interpretation?
Yep. The correct interpretation is what the Prophet says.
So the Prophet didn't say this? The Prophet didn't say this?
No. This is the word of God. But you got to see how the Prophet acted on it.
No, I don't. 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 If this is the word of God and the Prophet acted differently, then the Prophet is in conflict with God.
Bro. If you made a book, if you made a book, and someone just took one line from that book, and that line was saying, if someone doesn't believe.
So if I read the next one, does it tell me that the last one was wrong and that I should interpret it a different way?
No.
I would not write a book that says kill people who don't believe. There's no way, if my goal is to tell people how to live their life, there is no way I would write that phrase at all, because even if I wrote it and intended to clarify it later or have some prophet clarify it, I don't know why prophets need to clarify the word of God, why the word of God isn't clear enough on my own. But if I'm God and I write a passage that says, if anybody believes and then turns away, you are to take them and slay them, I am a fucking monster. Hang on.
Yeah.
And if I later often offer to correct it, to say, no, I didn't really mean, then I'm a fucking idiot.
Bro, why do you swear? Why do you swear?
Why shouldn't I swear? If I'll tell you exactly why I swear. Because I'm talking to someone.
We are talking politely here, bro.
No,
we are talking politely.
We are talking politely. What is your objection to the word fuck?
Islamic countries have different sensibilities.
So here's the thing. I will retract it. If I do that, I'm an idiot or a monster. We can remove the F word from it if that's what's really standing in the way. But the reason that I include those words is for emphasis, because we're talking about 1 billion people who are convinced, many cases like you, that this is the perfect word of God, and then they do a tap dance about what is the correct interpretation, or what did the prophet do with regard to this, and they sit here and you make an argument like the one you just made to me, which is, hey Matt, if you wrote a book like this, I wouldn't write a book like this. It's inhuman. I would never say, go kill people. Wait a minute, I was just teasing. That's stupid, because if the later passage gets removed,
or separated,
or if somebody says, no, the later passage doesn't clarify 489, it clarifies this other passage over here. Now I'm leaving it all in the hands of people to interpret. And if what I've given them to interpret says kill people who stop believing, I'm an ass. I am a monster. I am instructing people in inhuman things. And the fact that you aren't willing to kill people doesn't mean that you have the correct interpretation. And is that passage good as it stands?
Did you read the whole chapter?
Yes, I'm looking at this one here. This passage 489. Is it good as it stands?
You just read a couple of verses.
Correct.
And you interrupted.
So these were put in order by length. So are we talking about the original order? Or are we talking about the one that's just slightly longer or slightly shorter than this one?
It doesn't matter what the rest of the passage says, unless something in the rest of the passage says ignore 489.
No, man. I just want to tell you this last thing, because like.
Are you going to answer any questions, or are you just going to tell me one last thing? Did God write that?
You are not allowing me.
He did. He said he did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it good?
Yes.
And does it instruct you to kill non-believers?
No.
Then you're a liar.
Why?
Because it says, if they turn their backs, take them and slay them wherever you find them. That is an instruction to kill non-believers.
At any time, right?
I don't care. I don't care if he only meant to do it on Tuesdays or do it once every 50 years. It gives you an instruction to kill non-believers, doesn't it?
No.
Does that passage, Aziz? Aziz, does that passage?
You are not allowing me to finish any sentence.
Aziz, does that passage say to slay non-believers?
In what time?
Okay, now we're on to something, because you're acknowledging that it says slay the non-believers, right?
Yes, in what time?
I don't care what time. I don't care if it was 500 years ago or last Tuesday or last week. It says, it says, does it not slay non-believers, right?
Right. Did they just tell him?
Why can't you be honest about what your book says when I'm looking right at it?
Yeah. You are not.
Does Allah want you to lie on His behalf?
No.
Then does that passage instruct someone at some time to slay non-believers because they are non-believers?
At a specific time.
Okay. That passage instructs someone to slay non-believers at some specific time because they are non-believers, correct?
No.
Goodbye. You can say this passage tells people to kill non-believers at this specific time, although that passage does not say that. But you can say it only applied at a specific time. And my response to you is, I don't care when you think it applied. killing someone for not believing is immoral, inhuman, and Allah, if he wrote that, is an unmitigated thug who knows nothing about humanity, and he has poisoned your ability to understand because your only goal is to make excuses and reinterpret it in a way that suits what you want it to be. And I don't care what you want it to be. And if there's a God, why does he need to send information in a book instead of talking to people? And if he writes down information in a book, why does he need to send prophets to do it? And why does he need to send prophets where, according to you, we're supposed to watch how the prophets follow the book? Because if the book says kill people and a prophet doesn't, I'd say he's in conflict with the book. And if your claim is, yeah, the book says kill people, but the prophet didn't, so we're going to follow the prophet, then why are you pointing to the book and saying it's perfect? Your entire process is a lie that people have fed you and you are feeding yourself, and it makes you sit there and do this tap dance in a discussion where when it says, if they turn their backs, take them and slay them wherever you find them, wherever, it doesn't say anything about whenever, it says wherever. It is not a stretch to think that some people with a bent towards extremism would look at that verse and say, yes, I am instructed by Allah to kill apostates. You can talk about other interpretations and clarifications later, but if you try to make the case that it's absurd to think that people will kill apostates based on this passage, you are the one who has deceived yourself.